Speaking of the Warriors, Steph Curry also knows how to steal the show. Meanwhile, the Dubs facing the Mavs, who are getting hot tonight. Golden State falling off of late, eagerly awaiting the return of Draymond Green and James Wiseman. Jay Will back here with us. Jay, who would you rather have down the stretch? Would it be Steph Curry or Ja Morant?
So Steph Curry is the best three-point shooter of all time, the greatest shooter that I think the game has ever seen. But I think it's important to decipher these moments between clutch and the greatest shooter that we've ever seen. Because typically, when you're in clutch moments, you're facing double teams, and the degree of difficulty with the shots become way more drastic, right? So when you look at the numbers for this year, Stephen Curry shooting 32% from the field in clutch moments, 19% from the three-point line in clutch moments. Now, I know the body of work for Ja Morant is not at the same sample size that it is for Steph Curry, right? We've seen Steph Curry win championships. We've seen him in big-time playoff games. We just saw Ja Morant make it to the playoffs for the first time in his career last year. But there is something about the clutch gene for me. Now, Stephen A., there's no statistics that can prove this will be better, but there is something about his ability to create shots off the dribble and his ability to finish at the rim. I think the variety, because of the versatility in the ways he can score, right? Off the bounce, the dynamic ability he has to finish over the top of people, how he's able to knock down the three better this year than he has before, is Ja Morant. I just think Ja Morant he has a slight edge for MVP for me. Now, you can argue with me that deserves to be given to Joel Embiid or that deserves to be given to Nikola Jokic, and all those are reasonable arguments. But for him to have this team in a position to be third best in the NBA, only a game or two behind the Golden State Warriors. And I think you're starting to see the Golden State Warriors without Draymond Green. How much that means to this team is a huge loss in Steph's ability to get his shot off in those clutch moments due to his passing ability. I look at what Ja Morant is doing with Memphis, and I look at the components they have around him. I look at the way and the moxie he's played with this year. I would pick Ja Morant over Stephen Curry right now for clutch moments to get it done down the stretch.
Ja Morant is a superstar in the making, blossoming before our very eyes. I think that the Memphis Grizzlies have a shot to be the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. I have no issue with anybody that would put Ja Morant number 1 in the MVP race right now because of what we've seen from him over the last week or so. Still DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, they're all in the race. And I think that especially the first 4 in terms of Ja, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Jokic, I think that when you take into account everything that's been transpiring with these guys, I definitely think that it's a nip and tuck. The list is fluid. It's going to continue to move for the rest of this season as we race to the playoffs. But I ain't picking no damn Ja Morant over Steph Curry. I'm not doing that because Steph Curry is the greatest shooter I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not doing it. Now, I'm saying this recognizing that from the field and from three-point range, these are the lowest numbers we've ever seen in Steph Curry's career. I'm saying this knowing that. So why would I do that? Well, there's something to be said for trying to, matriculate Klay Thompson back into the proceedings. You got to get him going. You got to be a bit deferential. There's something to be said about being smart enough to be out on the court but still saving yourself because you've been to 5 straight finals and you are a 3-time champion and you know what's required in the postseason. So it's important for Jordan Poole, Toscano Anderson, Peyton II, and others to really get into the mix because you're going to need these brothers down the stretch, especially with Memphis and Phoenix looking the way that they've been looking. There's also something to be said about the ultimate playmaker being out for more than a month now in Draymond Green. And so when you look at it from that perspective and his ability to set up Steph and Klay, not to mention how he elevates the team defensively as well and what he brings to the table on both ends of the floor and how easier the game is for Steph Curry and others when Draymond Green is out there. When we're talking playoffs, when we're talking, like if you're talking to me about MVP, Steph ain't nowhere near it compared to Ja Morant right now. Totally understand that. But if you're talking playoff time, all of those pieces that we're talking about that they're devoid of in Golden State are going to be addressed by then. And so when I look at Memphis right now, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And I expect them to be incredibly formidable. And Ja Morant to lead the way, being the star that he is. And I definitely saw him elevate his level of play come postseason time. I'm not underestimating any of that. But I also expect to see the better version of Steph Curry, which we have seen in the past once he got all of his horses available to him. That's going to be playoff time. And that is why I would go with Steph instead of Ja Morant.
Who on the Memphis Grizzlies has the talent caliber of Klay Thompson?
Who on the Memphis Grizzlies has the ability to shoot? Nobody can shoot like that.
Okay.
Nobody.
How about Draymond Green? Maybe you can compare Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
Maybe
you compare guys.
So what I'm looking at is you saying that due to Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, those pieces that help Stephen Curry in those moments because it relieves the pressure. And what I'm saying is on the Memphis side, if you're telling me you're talking about guys like Desmond Bane, even though he's playing well, Mallet, if you're talking about Jaren Jackson, if you're talking about slow-mo relieving the pressure for Ja Morant, the ball's in Ja Morant's hands all the damn time. He's making plays left and right. Now, I'm not saying that diminishes Stephen Curry's ability to make plays.
Right.
I'm just saying I think it's interesting with this argument because can you take me through a list of those clutch moments that really make you trust Steph Curry down the clutch?
I think that's great. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's incredibly unfair to Steph Curry.
Why?
Curry, I'm going to tell you why. Because, yes, you have Klay Thompson who can also shoot the ball. You've had a situation where Golden State has been so explosive. There's been many, many blowouts in postseason action. They just take you out of the gym. You see what I'm saying? So many people are talking about, and they're judging Steph by clutch moments, just like we judge James Harden by clutch moments. Well, last time I checked, these brothers are averaging better than 26 a game in the postseason. They didn't nosedive and fall off the map. They didn't sit up there and play like scrubs. They didn't they didn't do what they did in a regular season at times, and I get that. But there have been some explosive playoff performances by Steph Curry.
Yes, there have.
We've seen that. And so all I'm saying is, when I look at it from that perspective, and I'm thinking about how much better they're going to be once they have their horses, yes, Steph might have somebody else to be deferential to because if Klay gets hot, you keep feeding him. We get all of that. We understand that. The flip side to it, however, I'm leaning on his abilities and his experience, and I'm not judging by what I'm seeing right now. To some degree, you have to be honest. Even though you're looking at Ja Morant and Memphis like everybody should be looking at them, and you're giving them their props where it's due, you're also looking at what you're seeing from Steph during this season as the litmus test to decide who you will and would not want. I'm saying I'm ignoring what I'm seeing now. I don't care what I'm seeing now from Steph Curry. As long as Steph Curry is healthy come playoff time and his teammates are healthy come playoff time, I am not concerned. I truly am not.
I understand that. And look, I love Stephen Curry. I wish in all the ages of basketball, I can shoot the rock like Stephen Curry could shoot from the distance he shot the ball from. We've never seen anybody in the history of the game do something at the level he's done it. But what I'm asking you, Stephen A., is to go into the history books of that incredible, beautiful Russell Crowe mind of yours, right? And tell me about those clutch moments where you're like, that's when Steph came through.
I'm Googling Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, Beautiful Mind. Russell Crowe, Beautiful Mind. It's the movie. Beautiful Mind movie reference, yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Sorry,
he
I didn't
does
explain
have a
that
beautiful
properly.
mind. Now I get it. I was thrown
No,
off for a second.
I don't have those because I saw Klay drop 41 against OKC. I've seen plenty of instances where we wanted Steph Curry to step up and somebody else did it. So you're absolutely right. But I've also seen games where, guess what? We said, okay, could it have been a final moment for Steph? Sure. But he had 35.
Okay.
And he shot 50% from the field. And he shot 40% from three-point range. I'm just saying, these are all a part of it.
Russell Crowe, we're out of time. I just want you to know, in clutch time this season, you have lots of nicknames. I prefer just Stevie.
It's
but
beautiful,
I still haven't gotten permission to just call him Stevie. Only Mad Dog can. All right, in clutch time this season, Morant has better percentage in points, field goal percentage, and three-point field goal percentage. So I just wanted to help bolster Jay Will's argument there. Still to come on First Take, Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly, Harden and Embiid, they look like the match made in heaven, but someone on this